Okay, as you dive in, I realize it's 22 minutes, but hey, stamping on glass is not easy, and I had to really work through this one. And it's 2 projects in 1 free video, so cut me a break. Enjoy. I wanted to try an idea that I had for stamping on glass. Stamping on glass is not my original idea, but you'll see what design I wanted to put together here. And so I'm going to use a couple of different products here. One is, actually, I've got to find it. The first product I'm going to use is Colors for Earth, the color concentrates. This one is Glacier White 1102, and this has to be shaken really well. So while I talk here and explain what I'm going to be working on, I'm going to go ahead and shake this because I didn't do that beforehand. So in stamping glass, Paula McCoy from Colors for Earth has put out, not just on stamping, but on all her products, some amazing videos, some really helpful tutorials. So I'm going to drop the link to one of hers about stamping with color concentrates. She has one on YouTube, so I'll drop a link to that in my video description. Paula talks about how you can stamp on glass, and I thought I wanted to really give this a try. I've never used her color concentrates before. This is really, truly a real-time experiment, so we'll see how it goes. She's so generous with her teaching and help, and I just love that about her. And so what I've got here are just a couple of stamps that I bought from Hobby Lobby, actually, both of them on clearance. I wanted to do something for Easter, and then I've had, you've seen maybe in another video of mine, I've got all these great Murini coming in that I keep ordering because I'm addicted. One of the suppliers is Lori Moreno with Wilderness Glass. Tabitha Burrell has glass Murini that are flowers. And so I've got several. This is actually all Lori's stuff from Wilderness Glass. She's on Etsy. I can drop that link as well. And I found this stamp that I just thought was a lot of fun. Here, check it out here. So I thought, how cool would it be to stamp the design on glass and then actually cover up some of these flowers with real, beautiful Murini coming from Lori. Now let's roll this over this. This might be more the impression of a dress than the actual thing. But here's the, now I gotta get down low and make sure that I'm centering this the best that I can, because I'm pretty much edge to edge almost on this piece of glass. Make contact, push down a little bit, try not to wiggle it, pick up. That's kind of cool. I'm probably going to go ahead and proceed with this and fire it just to see what happens. So not too bad, probably not as fulsome as it could be, but I don't know, it kind of almost gives a lacy look up here, so I'm okay with it. In the interest of just moving on, I think we're going to give that one a shot. So now I'm going to clean this off again because I don't want that color concentrate to sit on here and stain and ruin my stamp. So try to clean that up as much as I can. And I'll go wash out my brush and my roller here and be right back. Okay, so now I've changed my setup. I've got this piece that is drying, and the next thing, instead of stamping the cross with color concentrate from Paula McCoy and Colors for Earth, I've decided to shift gears and do a silver mica stamp for the cross, which I think could be pretty. And I first saw this with a video from Nancy Sala, so I'll find her video and post a link. So if you want to see that, I'm sure she's going to do a better job explaining it to you than I am. Still using the same purple glass, still using the same stamp, but this time I'm using Versamark, which is basically kind of a glue stamp, if you will. And so I'm not going to be able to really see my impression. You won't be able to see this yet, but I'm going to go right in the middle here. Try to make sure I'm in the middle. Stamping down, get a good solid impression, lift up. Now, what I'm gonna do is still clean off this stamp pad because I don't want that Versamark stuff to stay on there. And so clean that up, let that dry. And now what I have here is basically a wet impression of that stamp. Boy, it's kind of sloppy. You're not gonna be able to see it, but I can kind of see it, and I don't love it. Maybe I don't love this stamp. Maybe this is my problem. Try to dry it off a little bit, and we're gonna give that another go. So simply wipe that off. You couldn't see it, but I could, and I just didn't like the detail on it. Let me dry it quickly. It's a weird tip, but I like toilet paper in the studio because it's very absorbent. A little square is all you need, and so keep a roll of toilet paper handy. Okay, we're gonna try that again. So I'm gonna load up my stamp. Carefully try to center this, put it down, get a good impression, lift up. Oh, heck, I don't know. Let's put the mica on it and see what we think. So now I'm going to dust some mica on. My favorite tool here is a makeup brush. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little mica on here, and then I've got the paper towels. I'm gonna kind of knock the rest into the paper towel, brush this off, and then I should have a silvery cross that remains on the glass. Now for this, because it's mica, I'm gonna go ahead and mask up so you won't be able to hear me very well. You don't need a lot of mica. What I like to do is just drop a little kind of across the top here. And then kind of knock it down. You want to be careful with your impression that you're not smearing it. You're just getting that mica to kind of lay down and adhere, but don't rub it too hard because then you're going to smear it. So very carefully dust off. Okay, taking the mask off so you can hear me. I mean, this stuff gets everywhere. This mica's in the air. It's all over, so you have to be very careful. I don't love that impression. Do you see how it's all smushy on one side? And that's probably me. I think I maybe pressed too hard. Sometimes you should just give up, but I'm not going to. So now I'm gonna try a new attempt. I'm gonna take this paintbrush. I'm gonna run this paintbrush through my Versamark stamp, just rubbing it on my stamp to try to pick up some of that glue. And I'm gonna see if I can fill in glue or Versamark in some of the areas of this cross that didn't get full coverage. And basically what I'm trying to do here is fill in the gaps on this cross stamp and just make a solid silver mica cross. Okay, that mica really does just get everywhere. So I tried to clean up my workspace here. I mean, it's all over my watch, and anyway, I'm gonna look like I've been wearing makeup. So now I've taken some cleaner to the edges of this, but my design is still pretty messy Let's see if you can see. There's quite a bit of mica on the outside of this. I don't think that that's coming across very well, but I've got one of these rubber tip tools. I think you find these in ceramic supplies. I don't know what it's really called. This one says cup chisel. It's just got a rubber tip, and so you can kind of go in and brush away and kind of clean up with some precision kind of around the edge here. And then I also have some Q-tips that I can moisten to kind of pick up some of that mica as well. So all I'm doing is kind of going around the edge and trying to clean this up a little bit, taking the mask off because I don't have mica flying around anymore. Just cleaning up gently around the edges, and finish doing this and then come back and we'll put some of the Murini on here. So next up is to now start applying this beautiful Murini. I've got some glass tack. There's blue and there's red. This one's a little thinner. I'm gonna apply a little glass tack and be dang careful not to get any on the cross itself, but I'm just gonna kind of do a little bit of an outline here and start to arrange some Murini. So I got these from Lori Moreno. I just thought they're really pretty. Let's see, that one's not sitting well, so let's put that one that way. And you know, just kind of represented the season and thought it would be something fun to surround this cross with. And so I'm just grabbing them willy-nilly. I'm basically going to try to fill in. I've got itty bitty ones and big ones. Her designs are really pretty. There's lots of, this one's a white rose, lots of different kinds of flowers here. And so I'm just going to go through here and place the flowers. There's also some leaves. So let me put a few leaves in here. These blue leaves, that's fun.
Hey, just a quick voiceover as you watch this. As you saw, I used 200 grit diamond pad to rough this one up as well. Once you add clear powder and fire, it comes out perfectly smooth. It's a good way to keep your stamp straight.
Okay, there you go. I got a little Murini happy and put more on than I had anticipated, but I really like these. They're just so pretty. Now I'm gonna let this dry and then very carefully put it over on my shelf, and I'm gonna go to kind of a contour fuse on this, probably, I don't know, 1425 or so. I could always go hotter later if I wanted to, but I think we're just gonna go with 1425 on this because I really like the texture that that's gonna provide with those different size Murini. So I'll let this dry overnight and then we'll fire it. Okay, so now on this dress piece, I am going to put some glass tack. You know what, I've got just a little, I'm gonna dip in place on this one since I don't really want to spread that glass tack glue all over. So I love these little portion cups, like restaurant portion cups. I'm gonna use one as a little bit of a glue dish here and just put a little pool of glass tack in and then dip my Murini in that as we go. So let's see. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to try it. We're just going to basically go right over the top. Hopefully the glass tack doesn't dilute the white color concentrate, but I'm just going to go right on the top of some of these flowers that are already on here and place these others. So like the other piece, I'm gonna let this dry overnight and then carefully take it over to the kiln and fire it.
Hey there, sorry about the bad camera angle here. I wasn't perfectly happy with that. I thought it looked a little plain, so I took a dotting tool. You can find these just about anywhere, but Paula McCoy has them as well. And I dipped it into the color concentrate and put dots all around the design just to give me a little something extra. I let those dry, and then I dusted the whole thing with powder, and I like the look better now that I've added the dots. I just thought it looked a little too plain before, and I think this helped quite a bit. Again, sorry about the bad camera angle here.
Okay, so pieces came out of the kiln. I fired this up to 1400 degrees for 15 minutes, and I love the texture that I got on these. It's almost the exact look that I was going for. And those Murini are just beautiful. Truly, on video, it doesn't really do it justice. They look so cool. I wish that the dress were just a little bit darker in terms of the white. It was a little more saturated in color, and I think if I really wanted to, Paula and I were talking this afternoon, you know, I could have taken a quill pen and maybe gone back over that design or something, but that's okay. Generally speaking, I'm pleased with it. I do think this is dusty blue is the Bullseye. I think it could use just a little bit more something, so I decided to I'm going to put it back in the kiln and put it on a piece of light peach cream to kind of just give it a little bit of an accent and kind of draw from maybe some hint of colors that are in the flowers. I debated, do I go with a bright color, like a pop of color there? I might still go back and look at that. It looked okay against spring green. Maybe against orange. I might play with it a little bit, but I also kind of liked the subtle color of this light peach cream. So I may just add an extra layer of glass here and fire this. On this one, the silver looks pretty good. The mica looks good there. The Murini look great. This is neo-lavender, I believe. Now that I say that, I'm not so sure. I think it's neo-lavender that I used. That looks kind of neat. I'm not thrilled with the way that cross looks because depending on kind of the angle, it almost kind of disappears. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to stamp this again. You know, at the beginning I had so much trouble with the stamp, and I'm wondering if the stamp wasn't really clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that stamp with alcohol to really get it clean, and then I'm going to take a different color pigment. I will decide between these two. I've got two here that I can choose from that are green. I like this green leaf, and I also like the laurel green. I'm going to pick one, maybe the green leaf. And I'm going to try to stamp again, and I'm going to use that very same design and basically try to put it on top of the mica now and then fire this again. So stand by and we'll take care of that here in a moment. Okay, it occurred to me earlier, I did not show this mica that I used the other day. It's called Slice of the Moon. Silvery white was the color. I got this jar of mica on Amazon. I can't remember how much I paid, and it's been a while back. So if I can find it again and find the link, I'll drop it in there. So this is not necessarily tested for glass, but it was cheap enough that I thought I'd just buy it and give it a shot. It's kind of a white silvery color, and what color there might be in there from a white standpoint, I think kind of fires out, but basically it gives me this really nice silver in the end, and so I'm still pleased with that. Okay, I tried this and it didn't work, and I erased it or wiped it off, and I'm trying it again, and I realized I forgot to be filming this. I didn't have the camera on. So I've applied ink. I changed my mind. I had started with this green leaf, and I decided I didn't like that color and I wanted to go darker with the laurel green. So I've loaded up my roller here, foam roller, with green. I've placed it on my stamp, which looks nice. Have good coverage on that. And I'm going to pick this up and try to get it as aligned as I can. Hopefully I'm not too far off. I'm a little off, but it's not too bad. So there, can you see that? That's not too bad. Could be better. I think I'm gonna wipe it off and try one more time. I promise I'm not trying to exclude you. I just keep forgetting to turn the camera back on. Okay, I cleaned it off, reapplied some more ink, stamped it again, and this one feels a little bit more in line, so I think we're going to go ahead and run with this. I'm going to let this dry, and then what I'm going to do is give this a whole thing of a coating of clear powder, just to kind of seal that in a little bit. I think this is looking better. The pigment's kind of still beating up, but I think that might be an effect of the mica that's underneath it, not the stamp itself. But anyway, either way, we're just going to run with it. So there you go. We'll see what it looks like when it all comes out of the kiln. Okay, here we go. Coming out of the kiln. I like this. The green fused on there nicely. The mica is kind of subtle behind there. I did put it at 1400 for 15 minutes again as my top temp. The flowers leveled out just a little bit more, but generally still have a lot of depth and texture, and I think it's really cool. So that's that piece. And then this one, ended up putting that on that piece of marzipan. Is that what the color was? I'll double check. But no, peach cream. So anyway, pleased with that one as well. So now the next step is, spare me the commentary about Hobby Lobby. I know some people don't care for them, but Hobby Lobby has these frames which kind of look like shadow boxes, but the glass is in the back as opposed to a shadow box where the glass is in the front. So I love these things, and you know, you can catch them on sale for 50% off all the time. So I've got this 5x5 square frame, and I bought some matte board there just back in the framing area. I bought a sheet that's kind of white on one side and cream on the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in there, put the matte board in there. Let's see, might do like that cream with that one. And so I'll put that in, and then I've got 6mm piece of Tecta, so real thick. I'll cut some of that, and I'll put it in there, and I'll glue with silicone the Tecta in there as a little bit of a riser, and then I'll glue this to the Tecta and center it and get these framed. So let me show you what that looks like here when they're done.
Okay, I forgot to mention, this is the sealant that I used, Auto Marine Sealant from DAP. It's a silicone, and I was told that this works really well for gluing glass because it's flexible. And here are the finished pieces. So I framed them in these Hobby Lobby frames. I'm really pleased with the way these ended up looking. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and share. And if you made it all the way to the end, congratulations. Until next time.